There are other places in the Bible where they indicate that the relationship of a human to God is like a father-son relationship.
For many, the Bible has always been a sacred guide, a pillar of faith, and an answer to many questions. But what if you found out that the very words you've been reading for thousands of years might have been manipulated? This isn't a theory or some wild speculation. It's the reality revealed by Mauro Biglino, a Bible translator who spent years translating ancient biblical texts. The Bible, as we've known it, is not what we think, and Mauro Biglino says we've been lied to for over 2,000 years. What exactly did this translator find, and how can it affect the world as we know it today? If you're curious to find out, then watch this video until the end. Mauro Biglino journeys from faith to doubt. Way before his recent revelation, Mauro Biglino wasn't always skeptical about the Bible. In fact, he spent much of his life believing in it as the Word of God. He studied the sacred texts, read the scriptures, and trusted that they held the truth. But one day, while working on translating ancient Hebrew and Aramaic manuscripts, something strange happened. He came across a word, Elohim, that didn't match what he had always been taught. This word, often translated as God, seemed to have a different meaning when you look at the original Hebrew texts. It was plural. Elohim referred to more than one being. This discovery didn't sit well with Mauro. He couldn't ignore it.
When Elohim is translated in the plural, it reveals plural beings, plural interventions in our evolution as a species.
The Bible, the book he had always trusted, seemed to be saying something different than what he had been told. Could it be that the Bible wasn't speaking about one single all-powerful God, but a group of powerful beings instead? This idea didn't match with the traditional teachings he had grown up with, but there's more. As Mauro continued his work, he couldn't stop thinking about Elohim. The more he looked into it, the more it troubled him. Elohim was a plural word. It meant gods or powerful ones, not just God. But this didn't match what most people had been taught for hundreds of years. For many, the Bible was about one all-powerful God, not a group of powerful beings. This was a big deal. For centuries, people had believed that the Bible only talked about one God, but the translation of Elohim seemed to say something different. Mauro had to ask himself, what did this word really mean? He looked deeper into the history and the language. What he found was surprising. The ancient Hebrew language was very complicated, and Hebrew words could have multiple meanings. Elohim was one of those words. It could refer to a group of gods or powerful beings, not just a single all-powerful deity. As Mauro kept translating, he realized that the Bible might not be telling the full truth about its story.
The term Elohim was not translated, remained Elohim.
I see.
Because in the word, nobody knows the really meaning of the term Elohim.
He began to question everything he had been taught about the Bible. Was there more to the Bible's history than what we had been told? Was it possible that the ancient Hebrew texts weren't just about one God, but about many gods, beings with power, and maybe even different ideas and rules? Mauro knew this was a huge shift in thinking. He had always believed that the Bible was clear about one God, but now he wasn't so sure. His findings made him wonder if the people who had written the Bible knew something different. Maybe the ancient Israelites believed in multiple gods or powerful beings who were in charge of different things, but why had the translation of the Bible kept this secret? The lies they told us. Mauro's discovery about Elohim was just the beginning. The more he looked, the more he found things that didn't match up with what people had been taught. It wasn't just about the word Elohim. There were other parts of the Bible that seemed to have been misunderstood, or maybe even hidden on purpose. For a long time, the Bible was translated in a way that made people think it was all about one God, the God of the Israelites. But as Mauro dug deeper into the ancient texts, he found evidence that the Bible's original meaning was more complicated. What if the Bible was actually telling a story about many powerful beings, not just one? One of the most important things Mauro found was the idea of a sky council. This wasn't a new discovery. It had been there in the Bible all along. hidden in plain sight. The Sky Council was made up of powerful beings, known as Elohim, who had their own ideas and opinions about how the world should be run. Mauro realized that the Bible had many stories like the Divine Council that hinted at this council, but over time, these stories had been changed. The idea of multiple gods or powerful beings making decisions together had been erased in favor of a more simple, monotheistic, or one-God view. This was one of the big changes that had been made in the Bible over the years. Mauro couldn't stop asking himself, why did they hide this? Why did they want people to believe in just one God instead of a group of powerful beings? There were many reasons why the translation of the Bible had changed. The early Christians wanted the Bible to fit with their beliefs. They wanted it to be clear that there was only one God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But by doing this, they ignored the parts of the Bible that talked about Elohim as a group of beings with their own powers and roles. They wanted to make the story of God simple, but in doing so, they missed important truths. Mauro realized that this wasn't just about the past. These changes had real consequences today. If the Bible was really about many powerful beings, it could change the way people understood their relationship with the divine. It would also change the way we understood the world, the way we see gods, and even our own human potential. The hidden story of the Nephilim. Mauro's research also led him to a story that had been tucked away for a long time in the Bible. This was the story of the Nephilim, giants who lived on Earth long ago. The Bible mentions the Nephilim in the book of Genesis, but not much is explained about them. They are simply described as the sons of God and the daughters of humans.
Genesis chapter 6 has an interesting statement about the sons of God taking wives from the daughters of men.
But Mauro found something troubling. The way the Nephilim were described in the Bible didn't match what many people had been taught. You see, over the years, the Nephilim were often seen as just a strange, forgotten part of the Bible. They were often ignored or explained away as a mix of humans and angels. But Mauro, through his translation of the ancient texts, saw that there was more to this story than what people had been told. The Nephilim weren't just giants who lived on Earth. They were part of the larger story of the Elohim, the beings who made decisions about the world. These giants were not human. They were beings of great power, created by the Elohim, and their presence on Earth was part of a bigger plan. The Nephilim were involved in shaping the world's history in ways that were too important to ignore. But why had they been kept hidden for so long? In some ancient texts, the Nephilim were shown as powerful beings who helped the Elohim in their tasks, such as guiding humanity or even interfering in human affairs. The Bible's version of the Nephilim was not only unclear, it seemed to have been intentionally changed over time to downplay their importance. Mauro realized that the story of the Nephilim and their role was another part of the Bible's original message that had been lost. These giants, or Nephilim, were not just part of a myth. They were part of a much bigger, more complex story about the powers that shaped the world. As Mauro dug deeper, he also uncovered something else, something that shook him to his core. He realized that the God of the Bible was not the only God in the ancient world. Other cultures, such as the Babylonians, Egyptians, and Sumerians, had gods too. In fact, many of their gods shared similar names and powers to the Elohim in the Bible. For instance, in the Sumerian texts, there was a group of gods who were called the Anunnaki. These gods were said to have come from the sky, just like the Elohim. In ancient Babylon, there were also stories of gods who created the world and interacted with humans in similar ways to how the Elohim did in the Bible. Could it be that these gods were the same beings? Were the Elohim just one group of many powerful beings, each with their own agenda? Mauro began to believe that the Bible was not just a book about one God, but a story about many gods, powerful beings who each played their role in the creation and shaping of the world. But over time, these stories had been twisted and changed to create the idea of one all-powerful God. The truth was much more complicated, and that was something that had been hidden for thousands of years. The Great Coverup. As Mauro translated the writings further, he began to realize something shocking. The story of the Bible actually wasn't just altered by mistake. It had been carefully controlled and changed on purpose. The truth about the gods and their role in the world had been buried. People in power didn't want the truth to get out. They wanted to keep everyone believing a certain version of history. This wasn't just about hiding a few details. Whole sections of history had been erased. Important stories were removed or twisted so that people would believe in one God and one truth. By doing this, those in control could influence what people thought and believed for centuries. Mauro believed that the people who wrote the Bible made these changes because they wanted to control the masses. If they kept the truth hidden, they could create a world where one God had all the power and no one would question it. The truth about the other gods, the Elohim, and their role in history was lost in the shadows, but not all of the original texts were lost. Some had survived for thousands of years, tucked away in hidden libraries or forgotten places. These ancient books were the key to understanding the full story of humanity's past. The most important of these books was the Book of Enoch. It told the story of the Elohim, the Nephilim, and the angels. It explained how these beings interacted with humans, teaching them knowledge and guiding them. The Book of Enoch didn't make it into the Bible, even though it was once widely read and accepted.
The Book of Enoch should be included in the Bible because Jude quotes it. Is that true?
Why? Because it showed too much. It painted a picture of gods working closely with humans, and that didn't fit with the new version of the Bible that people in power were trying to create, so it was removed. Mauro discovered that the hidden books weren't just myths. They revealed a deeper truth about our past, intentionally kept from us. These ancient stories explained the ongoing relationship between humans and the Elohim, the gods. In the beginning, the Elohim helped guide early humans. They taught us how to farm, how to build, and how to live in communities. The Nephilim were not just figures of legend, but real beings who had a lasting impact on the world's early civilizations. Mauro knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Many people wouldn't believe what he had discovered, but he was determined. The truth was too important to ignore. He believed that once people understood the reality of their past, they would be able to see the world in a new way. They would be able to break free from the chains of lies and control and begin to live in a way that honored their true connection to the gods and the earth. It wasn't just about the past, it was about the future. Mauro understood that the time had come for humanity to wake up. The truth had been hidden for too long, but now it was time to see it for what it really was. And as the world began to learn the truth, it would change everything. Nostradamus is a famous 16th century French astrologer. He wrote poetic verses containing shocking predictions. But another woman, Baba Vanga, equally predicted significant historical events. One surprising fact about Vanga is that some of her prophecies have already come to pass, which has increased her prophetic credibility among her followers. Do you want to know what Vanga has predicted for the year 2024? Which predictions have come to pass, and which are we still waiting for? Join us as we reveal the apocalyptic prophecies that will shake the world in 2024. But before we reveal her prophecies, let's look at Vanga's voyage into prophecy. Nostradamus of the Balkans. Baba Vanga was a Bulgarian mystic, also known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans. Even though she passed away in 1996, her predictions continue to spook people worldwide today.
The blind, self-proclaimed psychic Baba Vanga may have died almost 30 years ago, but she had plenty of predictions about 2023, and in a word, they're terrifying.
She was blinded during a childhood storm and claimed to see visions of future events. This is where things get interesting. Some people claim that her forecasts were right, an impressive 85% of the time. Even stranger, she predicted her death. She has some pretty scary visions for the world. In the following parts, we'll reveal which of Baba Vanga's predictions have come true. For this year, she predicted a lot of troubling events, including the assassination of Russian President Vladimir Putin by a fellow countryman. This shocking event is expected to bring more significant uncertainty to the world. Additionally, Baba Vanga warned of terrorist attacks across Europe and the use of biological weapons by an unnamed major country in 2024. Her predictions also extend far into the future. For instance, she said Europe will fall under Islamic leadership by 2043, communism will return to global politics by 2076, and the resolution of the world hunger crisis will end between 2025 and 2028. She even foresaw when humans achieved time travel in 2304, followed by artificial disasters that would render Earth uninhabitable from 2341 onwards. These predictions paint a disturbing picture of the years to come. Here is something we must all keep in mind. We should never be worried about far-off prophecies like Vanga's claims of alien takeovers and chats with God in 4302. While she predicts that the world will not end until 5079, it's important to remember these are just predictions. The Bible tells us in Mark 13:32 that no one, not even Jesus himself, knows the exact date or time of the world's end. God wants us to be prepared, live good lives, follow his teachings, and not focus on scary predictions. Many have tried pinpointing the second coming throughout history, but it's unknowable. Instead of dwelling on these anxieties, let's focus on living our best daily lives. The second coming of Christ and the rapture are two Christian beliefs that often get tangled up. Some scholars mistakenly believe they're the same event, but that's wrong. The rapture is seen as happening before the tribulation, a horrific 7-year period.
The 7-year tribulation starts, Daniel 9:27 tells us, when the Antichrist makes a treaty with Israel.
The Bible doesn't give us an exact date for any of these future events, but many believe the rapture will whisk believers away to be with God before the tribulation begins. Think of the rapture as the launch pad for the rest of these events. Believers are taken up, and the tribulation comes with wars and devastation. After this tribulation period, the Bible describes the second coming of Christ. This is when Jesus returns to power to defeat evil and establish his reign. Imagine a showdown between good and evil, with Jesus emerging victorious. You can read about this battle in Revelation 19:11-16. So the second coming isn't about secretly scooping up believers. It's about a glorious return to defeat evil and usher in a new era. Now let us examine Baba Vanga's prophecies up close. Intense earthquake. The first revelation by the Vanga is scary. The seer foresaw a massive earthquake striking the United States. She said it would be so powerful that it would alter the path of the Mississippi River and result in significant loss of life and damage to property. While an unforeseen earthquake did strike the U.S. this year, measuring 4.7 on the Richter scale, it hit New York City on April 5th. Fortunately,
earthquake rocked the Northeast, one of the strongest in the last century. The earth cam from atop the Statue of Liberty capturing the images as the 4.8 magnitude earthquake shook New York City.
It did not cause any significant damage to the city, nor did it change the course of the Mississippi River. The epicenter of this earthquake was in Lebanon, New Jersey, approximately 45 miles from New York City. However, the future remains uncertain since only 1/3 of 2024 has passed. We cannot predict if a catastrophic earthquake, as Vanga prophesied, will shake the world, including the United States. Vanga also predicted a massive tsunami that could strike the world this year, according to Baba Vanga, who also predicted the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, another more powerful tsunami that is expected to hit the Asian continent 2 decades later. Indeed, Japan recently experienced a 7.6 magnitude earthquake, which triggered a tsunami. Regarding medical advancements, Baba Vanga predicted that new cures for diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer would be developed this year. While this may sound unbelievable, the rapid progress in world medicine makes it possible. President Vladimir Putin recently mentioned that Russian scientists are close to creating a cancer vaccine. While speaking at a Moscow forum on future technologies, he hoped these advancements would soon be available to patients. While the types of cancer targeted by future vaccines haven't been fully specified, recent breakthroughs are promising. A lung cancer vaccine is making significant progress in the UK. The United Kingdom has committed funding to research and produce an initial batch of 3,000 doses of this DNA-based vaccine, developed by the University of Oxford. This progress signifies a positive outlook for cancer patients. While a complete miracle cure in 2024 might not be possible, these advancements pave the way for future vaccines that could play a crucial role in the fight against cancer. If you think that is all, you are about to get shocked. Economic crisis. Baba Vanga predicted a significant economic crisis in 2024. She claimed it will be fueled by rising debt and political tensions. The interesting fact is that some nations are already facing financial woes. Millions of Americans struggle with inflation, and the UK recently dipped into recession due to rising costs, making it harder to save for the future, according to a recent study by Allianz Life. This economic blow could make things difficult for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak as he heads into elections this year. Is this a true manifestation of Baba Vanga's prediction, or a coincidence? Only time will tell. But one thing's sure, the global economy faces some headwinds in 2024. That is not all. The Japanese economy also faced some bumps in the road in 2023, after sluggish consumer spending caused a slight decline in growth for 2 quarters in a row. The country dipped into recession. Despite this setback, Japan's overall growth for 2023 could have been better, coming in at 1.9%. However, more was needed to hold on to its spot as the world's third largest economy. Germany edged them out, with a GDP of $4.5 trillion compared to Japan's $4.2 trillion in dollar terms.
Japan's economy is shattering. The Japanese economy has slipped into a recession. In dollar terms, its gross domestic product or GDP stood at $4.2 trillion versus $4.5 trillion of Germany.
The US remained the world's economic leader, with a significant expansion of 5% in 2023. There are some signs of improvement for the Japanese economy this year. After a rough 2023, forecasts for the current quarter, January-March 2024, show growth picking up again. While it won't be a boom, a respectable annual rate of 2.1% is a welcome change. Cyber attacks. When Baba Vanga passed away in 1996, the internet was still new, yet she predicted a rise in cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure. She claimed this would create significant security risks around the world. Specifically, she mentioned hackers going after power grids and water treatment plants, vital components of a nation's well-being. Interestingly, recent events seem to echo this prediction. AT&T recently discovered a data leak on the dark web containing the personal information of millions of current and former customers. While the source of the leak is still under investigation, it shows the growing threat of cybercrime. Baba Vanga also predicted a terrifying event, a major nuclear disaster. She warned of widespread consequences that will impact global politics, the environment, and humanity. This catastrophe could destabilize international relations, trigger conflicts, and reshape the world order. Unsurprisingly, such a grim prediction has sparked much discussion and speculation. Just when we thought the global war on terror was a success, hear this. Threats to global order. Baba Vanga warned of increased terrorist activities in Europe and hinted at the possibility of a significant country engaging in biological weapons testing or launching attacks. The world is going through a substantial power shift. Long-standing issues like the Israel-Hamas conflict and the war in Ukraine highlight this change. Many are asking, is China rising as a new superpower, or is Russia's influence fading? Both are likely happening. China's economic and military strength is growing, but Russia's global influence seems to wane. This doesn't necessarily mean China can take Russia's place as a sole counterweight to the West. The international scene is becoming more complex. Democratic countries play a more prominent role in Eastern Europe and India. NATO's eastward expansion can also be seen as part of this trend, with some viewing it as a way to contain China's growing power. As the world order shifts, old disputes between Russia and China are resurfacing. Historical claims to territories like Tatarstan, Chechnya, and Xinjiang are being re-examined, adding another layer of complexity to the global landscape. Vanga said Mother Nature itself will not spare us. Here's why. The wrath of nature life is getting more complicated. Gone are the simpler days when basic needs like food, shelter, and family were the primary concerns. Now, with the constant barrage of information from the internet and entertainment media, we're bombarded with desires and expectations, success, relationships, travel, wealth, the list goes on. This constant comparison to others can be a significant obstacle to peace of mind. Baba Vanga predicted more troubles for humankind, severe weather events, and natural disasters for 2024. A study showed that global heat waves occur 67% more frequently, with higher temperatures than 40 years ago. Heat waves now last an average of 12 days, compared to 8 days in the past. The World Meteorological Organization forecasts 2024 to be another record hot year. Vanga also foresaw an orbital change that could lead to devastating natural disasters worldwide. Other predictions by Vanga may also shock you. One prediction suggests that in 2024, humanity will make first contact with aliens, a notion that sounds like science fiction but excites many. Another prediction revolves around a dragon that could signify a new force, a natural phenomenon, or the rise of advanced artificial intelligence. There's also a mysterious forecast involving Donald Trump and an unknown disease, adding intrigue to the controversial politician's potential return. Additionally, Baba Vanga foresaw a young leader's death, possibly signaling Alex Navalny's death. Climate change is expected to bring catastrophic consequences, while cancer treatment and quantum computing breakthroughs promise hope and technological advancement. Similar predictions can also be found in the works of Nostradamus for 2024. Nostradamus predictions for 2024. Let's reveal some of the most shocking predictions of Nostradamus for 2024. He predicted that Putin's leadership would face significant challenges and opportunities in the Year of the Dragon, symbolizing obstacles and victories. He also predicted that the Chinese global expansion would reach unprecedented heights and potentially surpass other superpowers.
China as the new global superpower. She's already an economic superpower, but I mean as political and security superpower.
In the medical field, he said the world will witness groundbreaking advancements in artificial organs, which would revolutionize transplant procedures. Additionally, artificial intelligence will surge, leading to transformative changes across various industries and possibly marking the onset of a new technological era. China, another major player on the world stage, is also predicted to experience a significant shift in 2024. Nostradamus hints at a change in their focus, suggesting a move from a more inward-looking approach towards a more prominent role on the global scene. China's economic influence is undeniable, and Nostradamus suggests they may even challenge the existing world order. The question remains, will China emerge as a dominant force, a shining star on the world stage, or will it pursue a more collaborative approach to international relations? Only time will tell how their global ambitions unfold. Printing the future organ. As noted earlier, Nostradamus's visions were not limited to political matters. He also suggests breakthroughs in medicine and artificial intelligence in 2024. Imagine a future where waiting for a life-saving organ transplant is a thing of the past. Nostradamus hints at a world where 3D printers can create new organs, like livers, as quickly as printing the morning paper.
And when it comes to printing human body parts, one woman received a 3D printed ear implant made from her own cells as part of a clinical trial.
This bioprinting revolution could transform the field of transplants, offering hope to countless patients in desperate need. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, is another crucial theme in Nostradamus's predictions. He isn't alone in this. Prophets throughout history have alluded to the growing importance of AI. In 2024, Nostradamus suggests AI will take a significant leap forward, moving beyond simple tasks like weather forecasts provided by Siri. He envisions a world where AI is a powerful driver of innovation, transforming various sectors. Imagine doctors using AI to diagnose diseases with unmatched accuracy, or robots crafting the perfect cup of coffee. The possibilities seem endless. Nostradamus suggests AI won't just be intelligent, but it will be revolutionary. What we are about to reveal will thrill Nostradamus European fans. Nostradamus offers a glimpse into the future of Europe in 2024. While Baba Vanga predicted Islamic leadership for Europe, Nostradamus's vision needs to be clarified. He suggests a European rising star will emerge, a charismatic and enigmatic young leader. This individual is predicted to be a powerful communicator, with the captivating storytelling ability of Shakespeare and the influence of a modern social media star. Nostradamus suggests this leader will significantly impact European politics, potentially swaying the masses and reshaping geopolitics. However, Whether this leader will be a force for good or a catalyst for unforeseen change remains a mystery. Nostradamus leaves us with more questions than answers. Only time will tell if this charismatic icon will be a beacon of hope in turbulent times or usher in an era of unforeseen challenges. While we've discussed extensively the future predictions of Baba Vanga, some of her past predictions that have come to pass will shock you. Here we go. Shadows from the past. One of Baba Vanga's most famous prophecies that people believe has come to pass concerns a devastating event for the United States. She spoke of a horrific attack on American brethren by steel birds. This chilling prediction has gained significant attention, with some interpreting it as a reference to the September 11th attacks in 2001. The steel birds could symbolize the hijacked airplanes used in that tragedy. However, it's important to remember that prophecies are open to interpretation, and their accuracy is a matter of ongoing debate. What do you think about Mauro Biglino's bold claim that certain parts of the Bible were watered down so they could control the narrative? Let us know in the comments section. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Remember to like, share it, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.